This took a little bit of guts for me to hit record and film today, so here goes nothing. Welcome to my channel. I'm Ashlyn, the copywriter and calligrapher behind Ashlyn Writes, and you picked a pretty good day to come over here and hang out with me because today I'm talking all about how to write your Instagram captions. Like I said, it took some guts for me to hit record and film this because I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers, but truth be told, lots of my clients do. I have one that has 782 some odd thousand followers on Instagram. Whew, that's a lot, right? I also get a little self-conscious because I'm not a photographer, I'm a writer. So my medium is words, but Instagram is a visual app. So I've had to learn over a long time how to take better images, but also figure out how to style certain things as well. But I'm ripping off the Band-Aid because I was asked to film this and I still think that I have something to say on it. So there's 3 reasons why. The first, A, I'm a copywriter, and so people automatically, naturally assume maybe that writing comes a little bit more easy to me than maybe some other tasks in life. B, I tend to have pretty good engagement on the posts that I do put out there. My friend and client, Julie Solomon, I'm gonna link her below in the description box, is a publicist who teaches influencers how to market. I've learned from her that brands, when they're looking to work with influencers and micro-influencers, are looking for a 1% engagement rate, hopefully though a 2% engagement rate. Some don't even look lower than like 2.5, but all that to say, when I look at my analytics, we hit around, at time of recording, a 3.28% engagement rate, which isn't too shabby. Finally, I heard one time that the college freshman doesn't want the dean of students to lead her around campus. She wants the college sophomore. So maybe I'm your college sophomore today, able to help you out just a little bit. Now, before I get into the content of today's video, I have a few housekeeping things. First, if and only if you find this video helpful, I would appreciate a thumbs up. I would also appreciate comments or hitting subscribe. It's things like that let me know what content you guys actually like and what you want more of, so sure would appreciate that. Also, I've done a similar video to this where I dig into other tips that you can use to write better Instagram captions. I'm going to link that in the description box below. You can watch it next and get a few more tips so you can write better captions today. Finally, the disclaimer, I tried really hard to find 5 algorithm-proof copywriting tips that are going to help you write better captions. I feel like once a month, there's like a big Instagram change that blows up. And so I really wanted to find writing tips that are going to stand the test of time, writing tips that have worked in the 2 years that I have built my business online, but also writing tips that I used back when I was a publicist working in corporate marketing that we would use on our clients and their Instagram accounts then. Let's dig into the tips. The first tip I have for you is to hook me before the fold. This could be something completely arbitrary, but it's what I have found works for me when I'm writing my captions. I try really hard to bake in and front load that caption with tips that are going to catch people's eyes before the fold. Now, what I mean when I say the fold, you know when you are scrolling through the app, there's those first line, 2 maybe sentences that you can fit on there before you get the 3 dots, and you have to click that to accordion out the rest of the caption. Now, no one's going to read all of that if they're not hooked right off the bat. We practice this when we write headlines on our websites, and it's kind of the same when it comes to your app. So I think about where that text break is going to fall, and I anticipate it by putting copy up front that's going to be more eye-catching. Tip number 2, always type out your caption on a desktop or laptop computer, basically anything but your phone. You can get fancy here and use something like Evernote or Google Docs, but what works for me is just to use the Notes app. I have one Notes note that is just reserved for Instagram, and on that I keep some hashtag notes, but I also keep little copy snippets or stories that I may want to tell someday on Instagram. That helps me on the days that I'm feeling completely stuck and I don't have anything to write about. Also, when I write on the desktop computer or my laptop, I tend to make fewer grammatical and spelling mistakes. When I was doing research for this video, I was hunting around Instagram and I did see that it's just so easy for anybody, right, to have spelling or grammatical errors in their captions. But what I've found is that for me, at least when I make those, it's because I have transferred the caption over to my app and I've started editing the copy within the app itself, the Instagram app itself. So what I found, at least for me, is that when I'm writing on my desktop or on my laptop, spell check, Grammarly, those kind of tools are going to catch errors before I hit publish. Tip number 3 that I have is break up your text. If you've ever heard that people don't read online anymore or they don't read things if they're long, that's not right, I don't think. I think people don't read if it's boring, but I also think they don't read if it looks intimidating. And if I see a caption that looks like a little excerpt from War and Peace, I'm probably not going to read the whole thing. So break up your text, whether it's through line breaks, emojis, backslashes. There's a lot of different things that you can choose. Whatever you like the look and feel of or what goes with your brand is the element that you can use. Tip number 4, hook them with story told in your brand voice. Now, if you're having a hard time figuring out your brand voice and that sounds so pie in the sky or esoteric to you, I want to help you out. I have a 9-page guide you can download for free, and that should be able to help you figure out and land on your brand voice in a way that feels authentic to you. I'll link that below. You can also grab it here on the video. So you want to couple that with story. We're naturally nosy people, right? And we like to know the why behind things. We want to know the tale behind it. And so when I was doing research for this video, trying to figure out how is it that storytelling comes naturally in my writing, on captions, like what am I actually doing? I figured out that I pretty much am lacing in elements that are either visual or sensory, flavor, that have an anecdote or a hook to them. So what I'm saying here is try to figure out how to season in these elements into your caption writing. So again, just to get even a little more nitty gritty, see if you can give me 2 anecdotes, little flavor bites, little sounds or auditory visual elements that just give a certain zing to your writing in every caption, okay? So it's 2 per caption. If you're writing a longer one, try for 3. But these are ways that you can be a little more engaging and paint a picture and make something fun for people to read. This is how you engage, get transparent, and really connect with people, because we naturally tell stories to each other when we're hanging out on a Friday night or whatever. So you want that same element in your captions. Number 5, experiment with both long and short captions. Now, good Instagram captions come in all sorts of different sizes and shapes. I tend to write longer captions, but you will see that they give us around 2,200, I think I had to look that up, character counts per caption. You can use all those, or you can make it really short, but the truth is the best practice is going to be whatever works for your audience. Whatever you see more engagement with, do that. If you're like me and you tend to write long, maybe this trick will help. But before I paste my caption, if it's one of those that I think is just a little hair on the long side, I will open up text messages on my phone, pull up a text to my best friend Becca, hey Becca, and I will paste the copy there. And if once I paste it, it looks like a novel and doesn't look like something I would ever text, then I'm probably going to pull it back a little bit. But if it still looks like something somebody could read in the text message, then I am assuming it's safe for me to put it on my Instagram account. Again, that's just what's worked for me. One bonus tip for you is to always include a call to action. This is where you want to tell your reader what to do next. So they get down to the bottom of your caption and you want to usher them into whatever it is, invite them to engage with you more, whether it be tagging someone in the comments below, answering a question, clicking through to read your blog, whatever it is that you want them to do. One thing that makes it hard for me though to see call to actions when I'm looking at other people's accounts is because it's buried in like a whole string of hashtags. Now you get 30 hashtags per post, again, just at time of recording, and so use them, but I would recommend that you put them down into the first comment. So your call to action is really clear and it stands on its own. Like I said, I am not the Instagram queen, but I know 2 people who are. These are sweet friends and clients, and the first one I'm going to recommend you to is Jenna Kutcher. She is absolutely the queen of engaging comments and captions that convert on the app, and so I would definitely recommend learning from her. I also recommend Beth Kirby of Local Milk. Beth has a gorgeous aesthetic. I feel like every time I see her post, I want to like jet off to Paris. But Beth writes beautifully. She's a fantastic writer, and she also engages. She's the one that has like 782,000 followers, so she really knows what she's doing as well. I would look to both of them to learn even more about how to grow your following on the app. Don't forget to grab your free brand voice guide and use that to hash out the words that it's going to take to get your brand to sell. If you found this video, as always, I would appreciate a like, and go ahead and comment below any ideas for future videos you have, writing tips you need. I'm all ears and would love to hear them. That's all for today, and I'll see you back here next time.